Hello and welcome to Move a Line, presented by SharpStack. Ryan Noonan, joined here, as always, recovering from yet another adventurous weekend in the town, another wedding. What's going on, Connor? How are we doing today, bud?
I mean, I've definitely been better, but I'm back. I feel like I'm back from the grave. I'm revived. Thankfully, you were here to, keep the ship upright and do the show yesterday when Inactives dropped. Had a pretty light weekend of props, but 4-1. So again, I'm literally and figuratively back from the grave of a slow prop season here to start. But and the one that we lost was Carson Wentz. He had a $160 with 3 minutes left, and then had an 80-yard drive, of course, in the last, couple minutes, which that was tough, but name of the game here. So it's fun to do a Monday show, and we should I think it'll be a cool style here on Monday.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Also burying the lead, we almost got the Millie parlay.
Oh my God. 1 yard plus. Well, actually, it's actually better now that Ferguson didn't hit, because I would have been not upset, but I would have been sweating.
Someone who really got to enjoy the Drake May experience last night. I would not want to have been really needing Drake May to get us 40 rushing yards to win us. I don't know, $300,000 or whatever it was going to be.
Yeah.
So you don't watch the Friday show. We put together a big parlay every week on the Friday show. Basically things we already like, and we take the alt legs, take them up a little bit, turn the screws, and we had a lot of success. We're actually heading into the Sunday night game where if Jake Ferguson had 50 yards, we would have been live, just needing 40 more rushing yards for Drake May. Jake Ferguson had 49 yards. We had hit the other 5 or 6 legs in the parlay. Most of them by a yard or two, which was also kind of wild. We had taken it up just enough. Again, I'm sure we'll get to plenty of Drake May discussion, but I'm glad that I didn't have to watch that game through the lens of Drake May needing to run for 40 yards, because it would have really, really ruined the night.
Yeah. I mean, well, we can get into that game in a little bit, but they were spying him. They were really trying to make sure he didn't run. So hindsight didn't feel that bad. It was almost reminiscent of my Nico Collins thing last year, where I had the 5-leg round robin alts. I needed Nico 100 for 12 G's, and he got an 80-yard touchdown call back on the first play, and then finished with 60 yards.
Brutal.
Not great. No,
I was thinking in hindsight too last night. Well, it was easy because it didn't matter at the time, and I was like, okay, as have rooting interest in the Sunday night game. In that scenario, I'm like, what would the number have been for a cash out? Because I'm almost always a no cash out, never cash out, always ride it. What would the number have needed to be cash out wise for me to feel knowing that I'm leaving EV on the table, but just for a peace of mind piece. If I'm getting 6 figures offered to me in a cash out, probably clicking that button yesterday.
I think there's no way that you're getting like that. I think it's going to be I think they always screw you. It'll be half of whatever you think it should be. That's where I'm at. Half of where everything should be, which I mean, still would be a good payout. But every time every time I'm close to it and I'm thinking oh, this could make sense, I'm nah, fuck it, let it ride. It's.
I know. Yeah. That's anytime I see someone that's thinking about it or flirting with the idea of the cash out, I'll comment leave that ride at why would you ever make the bet if you want to cash it out? And I'm just thinking all right, well, this is a different layer too of, fandom in the game. Right. So, bringing that into a piece of it too. I'm well, what would I do? So, hey, I would love to have that problem again this Sunday. So we'll see. Tune in for the Friday show. Also take advantage of SharpStack. It's right now available. New suite of betting tools here at 4for4. You get a free 7-day trial. All you need to do is go to the site 4for4.com/plans. Take advantage. You can upgrade if you're already a subscriber. We have some more information of that in our Discord. You can reach out to Connor and I directly if you have any questions there. We'd love to help walk you through that to take advantage. If you want to sign up, you've taken a 7-day free trial and you want to kind of take the next steps, you can use promo code MTL50 for 50% off your first month. You want to ride for the whole year, just use promo code MTL. That gets you 25% off of the full calendar year. And again, right now we're obviously talking about football, but it has all the sports. Again, we're close to NBA and NHL popping in there. You still have baseball playoffs, WNBA finals, all those different things are in there as well. College football. So take advantage, check it out. Fantastic tool. Again, there's EV tool, market-based projections. We're catering to pick'em players, ARB tools, prop screens, all that stuff. We'll share a little bit of it today. If you have questions, let us know. We'd love to help walk you through that. So this is our new spot for this. We're going to be every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, looking a little bit back on the week prior, looking at how like the look ahead lines have shifted into, the upcoming week. And then talk a little bit of futures as well, probably if we have time. And again, don't forget about Prop Drop again. Get that parlay next week. Make sure you're tailing along with us. We're going to get close. I felt really good about it. I almost messaged you in Slop. I'm like, actually really, really feel good about. Sometimes there's like a leg or two that I'm like, oh, I wasn't feeling that one, but like, I got a rock for the community. But like this week, I'm like, I think we're on to something here. I thought we had a good week. So hopefully carry that momentum, that optimism into to week 6. So all right, let's jump in. Week 5 takeaways. Let's get started. We had a London game. We had obviously another early start, another one this week too. Vikings Browns. I know you probably watched very little of this football game because you were in the middle of dying.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go for this one. I watched every other one. I did not watch much of this one.
I didn't think you watched much at all. I would say like kind of what we would expect from a Carson Wentz, Dylan Gabriel affair. Some teams that want to run the football, some defenses that were pretty stout. Wentz holding the line, I think was okay. I don't think Dylan Gabriel was that bad either, to be honest. And I think that's kind of what they were looking for. They did a really good job at just trying to have him get the ball out quickly and get it into playmakers' hands and again, lean on Junkins and run the football a ton. Interesting spot coming back here with the Browns not having a bye, Minnesota on a bye. Cleveland comes back, goes on the road in the division to Pittsburgh, who's coming off of a bye. So really brutal schedule spot here for Cleveland, who I would really actually be interested in maybe having some upset thoughts on the slate here for week 6. But any general thoughts that you would think about here?
Because they're 5.5, 6-point dogs basically in week 6 against the Steelers at the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Gabriel 19 of 33 for 190 yards, and then like Njoku and Harold Fannin caught 10 of the 19 completions. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to go back and watch Gabriel. What did the arm strength stuff? 0% concern. Doesn't matter. Just didn't throw the ball deep downfield. Like, did he try and push the ball downfield?
He did. As someone who was, trying to ride out Isaiah Bond, and again, I got just the sickest back-to-back weeks of getting home on the last play of the game. Isaiah Bond catches a 9-yard hitch on the first drive. Like, all right, this is all we need. We just got one in the bag. Yeah. I had over 27.5 receiving yards. 7 more targets. I'm not sure any of them were even somewhat catchable. It was like prayer yards. It was like he was the closest guy, but he was kind of throwing it away, but he's going to get a target on that one. And then we get literally the play before their attempted Hail Mary to end the game is like a 25-yard seam route up the middle to Isaiah Bond, who got home for me again somehow. So yeah, I don't have any concerns about the arm strength. I think they were a little conservative with the approach on how they like pressured him in the first half and then turned the screws a little bit in the second half. But I don't know. I think he was okay. Flacco was terrible. So I think this could be a pretty, I don't want to say sizable upgrade, but it could be a decent upgrade for them. They could be competitive with Dylan Gabriel.
Last thing I thought was interesting coming out of the game is that there was like reports that the Browns are going to they're already planning on seeing Shedeur Sanders at some point in the season. That kind of came out that they're going to give him a chance. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Like, you just let Gabriel ride.
It's weird.
It seems like a weird thing to say when you just put in a different rookie that you drafted higher than Shedeur. I don't know. I mean, I get that that's what's gonna happen. Like, I understand that, but that's not something you say out loud, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's bizarre. 44-10, Houston and Baltimore wasn't even that close. We wanted Woody Marks to be the guy. I don't think Nick Chubb's going away. And Nick Chubb actually looked pretty good. 33 rushing yards over expected in that game. Again, I can't take away anything from the Ravens in terms of projecting it forward, because this is just not who we expected them to be and who they're going to be. They're about to be 1-5. They're 7.5-point dogs at home this week to the Rams, who are coming off of a tough beat on Thursday, so extra rest. Any takeaways from Texans Ravens?
Not a whole lot. There was a report that came out that said that the Ravens might consider Snoop Hundley this week instead of Cooper Rush, or depending on what happens. I wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, that was embarrassing. But I don't know. The Ravens defense is just shot. I mean, they just when you lose half your starters and your best players. What was the stat? 160 million of their salary cap is injured right now. Of their total salary cap. I mean, just how are you going to compete?
Yeah, you're not. You're good players. So, and again, bye week coming up on the other side of the Rams game. I'm not buying anything really from the Texans. I do think the Texans showed in a way that, like, when they play bad football teams, they could probably do this occasionally. And really, the current iteration of the Ravens are a bad football team, and they whooped them. So hard to take anything and move forward with it. Carolina, one of the many teams to win after trailing by more than 10 points on Sunday, wins at home against Miami, saves Miami worse in the league bags, especially in the head-to-head battle for Carolina. Unfortunately, your Jets are doing some serious work there too. They continue to do their thing, but yeah, I mean, Rico Dowdle looks amazing. I don't know, like, how long is until Miami loses their head coach here?
Yeah, it's got to be soon. It's funny because they had like not like a dominant lead, but it felt like that they were dominating the game pretty early. And
yeah,
like I don't know, the Panthers just like, all right, we're gonna just run the ball, and it was working, and Miami couldn't do anything about it. So I don't really think Bryce Young played particularly well. Like I'm continuously unimpressed, at least this season so far. He's really, I mean, in hindsight now, he's had what, like the game of 5 games where he looked good, and most of those games were against like pretty bad teams. Last year. It was like that tail end of when he got benched and came back. He hasn't looked all that good. Tet continues to be great so far, well above average, but not really breaking it open just because Bryce sucks, I think. Like if you gave him, I don't know, like a Jameis or someone like even Andy Dalton, like for a couple of games, I bet that he'd probably go nuclear, to be honest. Someone with a little more YOLO to him. But the Dolphins, just tough when you can't stop the run at all and you're letting Rico Dowdle go for 206. You're not going to win many games, no matter what. And no Tyreek is tough too. So
yeah, Waddle played well, but you can't go to Carolina and run. They had 14 yards on 13 design runs, and that's against Carolina, who again they've actually their run defense has improved. I feel like we thought it would be better. It's not good, but it's improved. But they just that offensive line for Miami is a problem. So yeah, this is again just Tua's got no dog too in the end. Like it's tough scene. Colts whooped up on the Raiders 40-6. Colts are kind of a wagon in a way. Pretty solid, deserved favorite currently. Raiders down so bad right now. Brady's got to be like absolutely crawling. He probably had to do that Commanders Chargers game, and he was probably like boiling under the collar, like knowing that he's just signed and extended Geno to a big old deal. He's got an 80-year-old head coach that seems kind of lost. No defense to speak of. They're down bad. Brock Bowers obviously not playing. Just the fact that you can't take advantage of depleted Colts secondary and get like Jacoby Myers free for anything. There was some like massive CLV on Jacoby Myers. Had like his number was like 55.5 or something like that for a while, and then closed in like the low 70s. And I think I remember looking at one point and like one catch for 4 yards in the fourth quarter. Not great. Any takeaways here?
Yeah, finished with 4 for 32. Biggest takeaway is Geno continues to not really play all that well. Threw some picks. I mean, some of them weren't his fault. I think one was like a tipped one. 4 sacks. Genty, like he was fine, 67 yards on 14 carries. But like, I mean, again, it's just been the Bears game where the Bears are like the worst run defense in the league right now, or like were, I guess, when they're banged up. So I don't know. I want to figure like the Colts run defense is not very good. They've been pretty bad for the most part outside of they've been pretty bad. So I think the Genty's like I'm not buying the one week bounce back where, you know, against the Bears, and now like whatever this was, it was fine, I guess. 5 for 42 through the air. Overall, though, the Colts, this week's interesting, right? 6.5 point favorites at home against the Cardinals. Kind of like the Colts here. Not buying much Cardinal stuff.
Yeah, it was 3.5 in the look aheads, and that's pretty much all I wrote when I was writing up the line was like, hey, if the Colts are real, you take care of this at home against the Cardinals at 3.5 or whatever it is, under 7. Like I'm with you. Still, we've seen obviously positive movement for the Colts, but that feels pretty interesting, especially again, like one of those spots where you just kind of have to rubber stamp the fact that you're a real team The Cardinals are obviously down pretty bad. We'll get there too for sure.
Oh,
Next one, painful for me a little bit. Saints 26, Giants 14. That's 40 points. I was looking for 40 and a half in that game personally. So back and forth. Turns out you can't turn it over that many times. One of those Jackson Dart fumbles was like just the weirdest little. He scrambled out, didn't know what to do, was trying to run, just dropped the football. But yeah, 5 overall turnovers. Spencer Rattler gets off the mat, gets his first win. Any Giants and Saints takeaways for you?
we predicted a lot of play volume, and we end up with 132 total plays. It
Yep.
wasn't pretty from Dart most of the time. He missed Darius Slayton on like a deep bomb there that like throws another 5 yards. It's like a walk-in touchdown. Again, the fumble was very weird. I mean, I don't want to change my opinion off of the one game that we saw, and it was kind of like he's fun, he's interesting because he's new, but he's not very good right now. Like it's not all there together, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's throwing to Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, and like, you know, he's not perfect either. So he doesn't have much around him to kind of overcome his flaws. So they're going to probably win a couple more games that they shouldn't, just because he has like a great outlier game, and then they can lose to literally anyone, as seen by the Saints. Saints side, I don't know. It's just they're very much fine. I think they're just like a bad team that there's not much to take away from outside of like Rattler. I mean, again, probably bought himself some more games here, but that's it. Maybe that's all I got out of this.
You know what I will say? I think that the Saints aren't the worst team.
Who do you think the worst team is right
now?
Titans still, or no? I mean, Jets have the fewest wins, which is
Jets
awesome.
have the fewest wins. It's pretty terrible. They're pretty
But
terrible.
I don't think they're the worst team, though. That's the problem. I don't think they're the worst team either.
The Titans are pretty terrible. They should also have no wins. Again, I still think I am cheering for my Bags for sure. But I think Miami's pretty terrible. I think the Tyreek injury is bad. The defense is rough. No offensive line. It's just Tua and Waddle, and Achane make some stuff happen. I don't know. It's pretty thing. I just feel something I don't think good things about Mike McDaniel as a OC or like schematically. I think he can scheme some wins, but I think they're pretty bad. I would say probably the Titans.
Yeah, I would still say the Titans, but Titans, Dolphins, Jets, Saints, in my opinion, are kind of all in a tier. I mean, probably the Giants. I mean, you just lose the Saints, you probably got to be kind of included somewhere in there. I would say those teams probably somewhere in the mix.
Yeah. Just looking at some stuff in the defense on the Saints. They get some guys that are actually playing like pretty well, better than they thought. They're getting some pressure, at least from Carl Granderson. They're not getting any pressure from the other side of the line, but 5 straight turnovers too for the Giants. So it wasn't just that they have 5 turnovers; they turned the ball over in 5 consecutive possessions. That's going to cost you pretty heavily, pretty quickly there, which is down pretty bad. And we have 2 straight games of Jackson Dart within the first scripted, looking really good. It's like fucking script 60 plays. I don't know what to tell you. Like, figure it out. Build the whole plane out of the black box. 37-22 Cowboys over the Jets. Another spot where it just didn't feel really that close. And kudos again to Dak. Like, I think Dak takes a beating. Part of it is, I think, being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, again, is bad or is not good as they've been for large parts of the last 30 so years, considering the expectations for Dallas. Dak continuing to elevate playing without 4 offensive line starters, playing without CeeDee Lamb. Their secondary is atrocious. And finally, late in the game, Justin Fields took advantage of that. Like, they're going to have a hard time against really good teams, but they're going to need Dak to push them into like the mid-30s. He continues to do that.
Yeah, you called it earlier in our Slack chat, I think, at some point. You brought up Ryan Flournoy.
I bet it. I wish I would have pushed it out. I bet it.
You bet it?
Yeah, it was 15 and a half.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's kind of popped every time he's played, and I guess he was going to play a lot, so that made sense.
I remember liking him in the, I come in late in the pre-draft process from like the deep prospect piece, because we're typically talking first, second round betting. Right. And then we start to like dip into like the other prospects, and I'm like, this kid actually looks pretty interesting, like Southwest Missouri State or something like that. And I know he like popped in the Senior Bowl and like it did some stuff. I'm like, okay, this like good size speed combo guy. I'm like, all right, this might be a guy. 15 and a half receiving yards, crushed it.
Dude,
wish I would have taken alts.
Wow. I wanted to take some Jaden Blue unders, but I wasn't alive for that. I don't think it was widely posted. It was like 15 and a half, something like that. I mean, the Nike Louboutin shoe incident where he gets blisters, Shoddy comes out and is like, Yeah, those were some interesting. That was an interesting decision. Questionable choices there made by Jaden Blue. Like you knew he was going to get like 4 carries was like the most. I think that's probably only because they were winning, I would assume. So, I mean, overall, this Jets team stinks. Like this game was not even close for most of it. I mean, yeah, the Jets scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. It was what, 30-6 entering the fourth quarter. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this was like the box score makes it look like it could have been reasonably close at some points, and it really was not.
We have like this preconceived notion of who like the Cowboys corners are too, right? We had a bunch of like DaRon Bland interceptions a couple years ago. Like same thing with Diggs a couple years ago. Diggs in particular, we have like a lot of data now on Diggs just being like really bad. His like EPA per like target, the completion percentage over expectation allowed is some of the worst in the league. He's just not good. He's going to take some opportunity, some chances and gamble and get some picks and some big splashy plays. You get him against Ted McMillan this week. Cooked, absolutely cooked, right? He might pick Bryce Young off and run one back, but he's just going to lose consistently down after down. So, they're bad. They generated some pass rush. Part of that's just Justin Fields, who seems to have no pocket awareness sometimes. It's just wild to watch. Like, was watching a lot of that game for different props and different stuff. And it's just like, there's just no clock in his head. You just hit that back foot and you get to 2.5, 3 seconds and you can't continue to stay stationary and hold on to the football. You have to then break pocket, break contain. You have athleticism. He took a bunch of sacks that were 1,000% him, which is just got to be infuriating for Jets fans to watch.
Yeah, 5 sacks, 49 yards on those sacks. Only ran 7 times for 26 yards. Kind of what we talked about heading into the game. And then, Mason Taylor and Garrett Wilson both got there in the end. But, it wasn't pretty. I don't know. I mean, the Jets will lose to the Dolphins probably, right? Like at least, I don't know.
Yeah, we just had that, right, 2 weeks ago or last week.
Yeah, they lost one. They lost one. So I feel like I don't know. I mean, they should beat the Dolphins once though too, right? Later. I mean, it's like the toilet bowl. You've got Broncos, Panthers. I mean, you can beat the Bengals or Browns maybe if you get really, really lucky. At Patriots, at Ravens, they're going to be healthy, so no. I mean, there's some winnable games if Justin Fields is a ceiling game, but I mean, we're talking about maybe 2-3 wins probably.
Yeah, they're such a bad matchup for the Browns. Like the Browns are one you'd be like, and then you're like, the Browns have 4 dogs on the front on the defensive.
Oh God,
line.
yeah,
they're gonna feast. So it's tough. Speaking of dogs on the defensive line, Denver 21-17 over Philly. Philly again, another one of these teams that got up by 10 that could not hold on. Again, we talked about it last week. Philly's so weird. Like they're 4-0, but the vibes were so off. Right? You get the cryptic AJ Brown tweets. They had not really felt like they had put together 4 quarters. The Broncos have had a couple of games. They 3-2. They could very easily be 5-0. They've just a couple of random plays in that late Chargers game, and then obviously the call in Indy with the field goal there. Again, like Bo Nix hasn't looked great, but that defense is carrying them. Sutton was awesome, and that was enough to win 21-17.
6 carries for Saquon Barkley shocked me. I mean, that's
so
38
weird.
pass attempts for Jalen Hurts. Like AJ Dillon had 2 carries. Will Shipley had 1 carry. Like I don't know. It's kind of wild to me. I understand maybe it was like a pure matchup thing, but going that pass heavy against the Broncos secondary to me seemed kind of.
You got up 10-zip. They got up. It's not like they were playing like trailing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. And then the Broncos were playing from behind, 20 carries for J.K. Dobbins. And I don't know. Very strange game overall. Denver, obviously, like the late comeback there, 18 points in the fourth quarter. Not too many takeaways, just besides like this Philly team is like, we touched on it a little bit last week. Like, I think finding ways to fade them in the right spots could make sense because they're not as good as their record says, at least in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah. Broncos continue to be pretty heavily penalized every week. If they could figure that out a little bit, not have to play from behind and kind of get out of their own way. I was wrong on Nick Bonito. I thought Nick Bonito was good and was going to continue to be good, but I thought he did what he did. He way overperformed his underlying metrics last year. Guess what? He's doing it again. He is awesome and a problem and a legit defensive player of the year candidate, especially if they end up making the playoffs. And They're currently, I think, favored pretty comfortably to be a playoff team. So good looking out for Denver. Tennessee, 22-21. The most incredible. I mean, I don't know how much you watched this. It was only 4 games in the late window. Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, T's and P's for anyone that had the Cardinals in Survivor. I mean, just the most insane. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. It's just the most insane loss that I can think of in a very, very, very long time. Wild. I'm sure anyone listening to this probably already knows some of the things that broke down. I don't know how we continue to have this happen in the year 2025 where guys let go of the ball ahead of time. The insane interception, fumble into the end zone, and Tyler Lockett, who was spent the last 10 years avoiding contact at all costs, jumps into the fray to land on top of the ball to recover it. You get a long snap or a shotgun snap concussing your quarterback. Just a wild scenario, the most Kyler thing ever. Titans Cardinals, Connor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we hosted a Survivor contest this year, as many of you guys know, through Splash. I think I had 4 or 5 entries, and this week I had the Rams and the Cardinals as my 2 last entries, and rest in peace to those. But overall, first off, the DeMarcado stuff, dropping the ball for the end zone, inexcusable. They weren't that good to begin with, so that was a little bit tough. And then Cam Ward played some of his best football down the stretch there. That last quarter, he played much better, threw some absolute dots to Calvin Ridley.
Not to Elmanor. Where's my guy?
Yeah,
perfect
Alex
scenario
became a ghost. Ridley 5 for 131. I took under 39 on my own.
Yeah.
So much for that.
I know Jake played under 3.5 catches. We were on the wrong side of the right read. We were directionally correct with, I think, a heavy pass volume day for the Titans, and we somehow managed to miss the board.
Yeah, Chig crushed. Gunnar Helm, I almost played that over, but I mean, it seemed thin. 4 for 34. It's wild. His over under was 12. So I don't know. I think this is definitely, I mean, it's crazy to say. This is definitely, in my opinion, Cam Ward's best game, not because they won, but he actually showed more. I don't know. They showed life for a little bit, and mostly the fourth quarter. But overall, still, I think they're really bad. They're really bad. The Cardinals are also bad. Want to find more ways to fade them. I just, maybe not that bad, but they're they shouldn't be. I think they're more highly regarded than what they should be.
Yeah, another team that really, to be fair, has had a bunch of injuries too. So that's been a little bit harder for them. I think the Titans' combination of talent and coaching is probably why I think they're the worst team in the league. Again, even in a scenario where they get that touchdown, but Tyler Lockett touchdown, it's 21-12. Why would you not go for 2 in that scenario? No idea why they didn't go for 2. And then they missed the extra point, which was it was just very strange. The whole thing was very strange. I just felt like you're struggling to get down and drive and get any points on the board. You're here, get an opportunity to you stole 2 points or stole 6 points. Try to get 2 more. And then Joey Sly misses the extra point.
I'm pretty sure that the numbers will say to go for 2, right? Because it's if you're down 14 and you score a touchdown. The point is to go for 2 early instead of late. I mean, I'm sure the Titans coaching staff doesn't pay attention to any of that shit. So they're oh, no, let's go for 1. And then maybe if we score again, we'll go for 2 in the last second, thing. But yeah, he missed the extra point anyways. I just thought it was funny that he was so surely was pointing up no, we're going for 1. We're going to kick the extra point, when I think most numbers would tell you otherwise. So
yeah.
The
fact you guys don't even deserve this win. It was crazy game. Crazy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel bad for that.
That's why every year I'm oh man, Survivor, it should be so easy. And then I just lose everything in the first 4 or 5 weeks.
Pick a winner.
Of course, the Packers as 9-point favorites are going to lose to the Browns. You know what I mean? And the Cardinals shit the bed. It's the Titans.
I think we saw the top 3 or 4 of the top 5 or the top 3 in the Circa Survivor were gone this week.
Right.
Yeah, it's brutal. Just brutal. Really fun football game too in the late window. 38-35 Tampa Bay. 2 teams that came in less than 100% in the secondary in particular, and that's why we got, I think, the shootout that we did. Baker continues to ball out. Baker's almost like a sneaky. It's not even sneaky anymore based on the price. Let me see what the price is. Like Baker MVP is getting hit pretty heavily today. 12-1 still out there on Caesars and DraftKings, 11 on FanDuel. Just Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love, the other guys that are kind of in that mix. Balling out. No Bucky, no Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka torching Seattle. Again, Seattle without Julian Love, Seattle without, my boy Spoon. It's not the full-on Seahawks, but kudos to Baker for absolutely cooking. 9 of his 11 passes go for 10-plus air yards there late. Just continue to cook. Ton of pressure. Didn't matter. Thoughts on Baker versus Seattle? Oh, I lost your volume.
And it just continues to play well. And it's one of those things where maybe I think about this more is like, did Baker make Liam Cohen and Dave Canales?
It's a great point.
Like, I mean, the Jaguars are playing, fairly well. They're playing above their billing. Trevor Lawrence is not playing well. They're running the ball well, but they're not. I wouldn't say Trevor Lawrence is playing well. Dave Canales, again, Bryce Young conversation. He's had 5 good games maybe in 2 years at this point. So, I don't know, just something I keep in the back of my mind where I'm like, Baker's balling, doesn't matter who it is. You get Josh Grizzard, is that what it is? Josh,
yeah,
the Glizzy King. All right, we got him at OC. Interesting scheduling note though for this Bucks here. If you do want to buy some Bucks futures, the last 4 or 5 games here are wild. It's like Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. That's how they end the season.
Oof.
They're gonna win 5 out of 6 of those, at least, maybe all 6. Like that's like probably all 6. They're gonna at least be heavy favorites in most of them, except for maybe the Falcons game. It'll be close-ish, I'd guess. And then Cardinals will be close-ish spread-wise. But
yeah, I don't even know how you do it because I guess it would be NFC number 1 seed. They're like minus 340 to win the division, so that's tough.
That's tough, yeah.
Plus 750 to be the number 1 seed. Detroit, Philly, San Francisco, Green Bay ahead of them. They're currently 5th on the odds board for that. That best number is on FanDuel, but it's an interesting call out because look, the Mike Evans thing, it's a hamstring. He'll probably be back relatively soon. Godwin coming back. That's okay. None of the defensive injuries like the guys they were missing this week. Doesn't feel like anything is long-term. Their offensive line is just getting healthier too. Like same thing, Bucky Irving probably back relatively soon. Shout out to you on Rachaad White. Cannot get off the mat even in a game that goes 38-35.
14 carries for 41 yards. What a fucking clown.
So the touchdowns, and I'm like, wait a second, what's he doing in this game? And then I saw some receiving work, and I'm like, oh no, Connor's fine. He's got 27 yards.
He got a pitch back for -8 yards.
Yes.
Like it was a rush too. I was like, that's amazing. Kind of got saved there a little bit, but that was awesome.
He still was cruising for a bit. Yeah. The other way to go, your pro Buck stuff. He's the favorite. Emeka Egbuka, offensive rookie of the year, plus 115 on FanDuel, which is kind of wild. Again, we just always talk about when you have a quarterback making, starting in week 1, it's really hard to beat that guy. Cam Ward down to 22-1. So Cam Ward not a threat right now to take the offensive rookie of the year. Plus, Egbuka's been awesome. Like next to the board is Ashton Genty, who I think, again, Ashton Genty is good at football. I don't have any doubt. This situation is awful, and running back is massively dependent on situation. So his offensive line and quarterback play ahead of him is really bad. Jackson Dart, it's fun, but no. So Egbuka, again, with Hampton going down, it's the only one is like Junkins is pretty interesting at 15 because he's kind of a dog, I think. So if the Browns do show some pulse, but that's it. Egbuka would probably need to get hurt.
Yeah, I think the two that stand out to me are Judkins, and I think Tyler Warren at 11-1 is interesting.
True. It's a good call.
I don't know why I don't think he should be cheaper than like Tet, and Jackson Dart is like, he's just playing quarterback. But he's not going to win any games. So that's the problem. Whereas like Tyler Warren at least plays for a good team. He had a slower day this week, but overall he's been playing really well. So I don't know. I think a couple of big games from him and things can change pretty drastically.
Yeah. All right, next, let me see where we're at in the Sunday slates. Oof. Detroit 37, Cincinnati 24. Again, not as close as the box score would indicate. The first half, Jake Browning experience was absolutely horrific. Showed a little bit of life late. Again, picking on a Detroit secondary that's depleted. Terrion Arnold went down in this game. DJ Reed's on the IR. I still couldn't really take advantage of it until late. Most of the Demont narratives got home. Goal line touchdown pass early. Killed anyone trying to chase those 2 touchdowns for 3-1 or whatever the insane price was. But Jay Browning, at one point, I had multiple people message me this, and even Hunter in our Discord put it. At one point, and this is when you know you're down real bad. Jamar Chase had 3 tackles. At one point, he was the leading tackler in the game for the Bengals. It's never a good scenario. Takeaways here.
Oh man, I don't know. Like Lions, it's same business as usual. Scored a lot of points. Nothing really. I don't think takeaway there. It's like expected. They did what they were supposed to do. Bengals, they need to find someone else. Jake Browning's not the guy. Looked good in the end, but it was all garbage time. Jamar Chase just absolutely burned the guy for like a 60-yard touchdown. That was all on Jamar Chase. Nothing to do with I think pretty confident most of us, like, could make the throw that it was like he was that wide open. Like it was, I don't know if I could throw it that far, but, somewhere it's in that range. It was embarrassing. And then just continues like Chase, they can't run the ball. Chase Brown and them just like they can't run the ball at all, which sucks. O-line sucks. Browning took, only 2 sacks, but 3 picks is not going to get it done. So Bengals need to make some changes here before Burrow gets back, I think.
I mean, look, in what did we week 15, week 16? Come on. Call the Giants. Get one of those 2 quarterbacks. Call the Niners. Get Mac. Get McCorkle in there. Like
there's no way the Niners should deal Mac, by the way. That's like
no, I agree. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. The division's so bad. Do you know who currently is the favorite to win the AFC North?
I think the Ravens still. I think did you post on it?
Ravens are minus 105. They're 1-4. They're about to be 1-5. I mean, it's crazy. But that's like that's a spot where like it's open. It's open if you're the Bengals. Like, I know your defense is still going to be a problem, but man, like, it's not like you're just holding on till like week 10. Like the Burrow thing could be week 15, week 16. Like, whatever. Severe turf toe. That's not, you don't rush that back. So I don't know.
Rich Eisen, Bengals should trade for Jameis Winston. Yeah, I mean, like, just like how much worse can it get? Like, you just try something else. Like Jake Browning is not the guy. Trade for someone, do something. Grow a pair and make some moves, Bengals. Don't
Commanders. Commanders 27-10 against the Chargers. Chargers also on their team up 10-0. Looked like they were in control. I really liked the Chargers in this one. They continue to suffer injuries like they always do. Offensive line getting beat up. Marion Hampton goes down in this game. They had a couple scenarios where Justin Herbert makes some absolute great plays and holding penalty, and makes another great play, called back for illegal formation. It's just like, man, they just can't. When they're down bad and they're like running poor, they run so poor. And look, Bill looked good. Jane Daniels is back. Defense was okay. Some opportunistic turnovers, put some pressure on them. Again, the offensive line is a problem for the Chargers right now. 4 sacks, 9 hits, pressured 12 times. Not great. Thoughts on Commanders and Chargers?
Kind of a weird game. Yeah, Chargers like 2 games in a row now, just like haven't really played up to their building, I think, after they started off 3-0. So at this point, like the Commanders are such a team, one of those teams for me, I just can never get right, seemingly. I thought this was a great spot for the Chargers. Jane Daniels, first game back, still ran the ball 8 times for 39 yards. Didn't seem to be hampered too much. Didn't seem to be like full explosiveness, but like seemed to have enough juice there to really make it work. And yeah, the Chargers just like couldn't make it happen. It's just a weird game. So I don't have too many takeaways. Like I don't want to like just like throw in the towel on the Chargers by any means. I don't want to be like, oh, the Commanders are totally fine. I think Bill should get more work. That's kind of what's surprising to me still. 14 carries for 111 is good. Chris Rodriguez was 5 carries for 7 yards. Jeremy McNichols 1 for 6. Like they need to start JCM and then rotate in McNichols on 3rd down and some Rodriguez if they want, but it should just be Bill. I mean,
yeah, I agree. You look good. Yeah. Chargers still, I think, favored to make the playoffs, but now have shifted to some books for the most, but third in that division, which is kind of interesting, right? Where they were, a minus whatever favorite 2 weeks ago, and now Chiefs are favored. Broncos with some momentum are either basically even or ahead at some books in that division. So it's fascinating how quickly that can turn. Again, you had the Chargers with the 3 wins all head to head in the division, and we thought like they, again, we were still in September, but they had a nice head start. But all comes down pretty quickly when you lose, some important offensive line pieces. I need you to go back and tell everyone that we're back on top. 23-20, Sunday Night Football. Drake May. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, Connor. It's great. I don't even know what to say. I don't have anything reasonable to say. Felt fandom for the first time for my football team in a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm so team agnostic these days. Like I still root for the Pats, but again, I'm rooting for my bets on Sunday more than anything. But Drake May made me feel things that I haven't felt in a long time.
He played awesome. I mean, there's undeniably, it was great. The play where they made where he was like getting tackled and threw it to Diggs, and like Diggs kind of like, got his way out of there. He turned a sack into like a 12-yard gain, basically. There was just so many great throws. And this is with Ramondre still somehow playing. Like, I don't know, what are they? Cut the guy. Like, just cut him. I think
we can't now. We just lost Antonio Gibson
right.
for the year.
Yeah. I think the reason that they have him, and like Rabel said it after the game, he's like, he needs to stop fumbling because we need his skill set like out there. And I think they mean just like pass blocking and short yardage, basically, is what, in my opinion, that's what I took that as. Like, we don't have a guy that can do either of those well right now. So like, we need him out there. That's what I'm guessing, but he should never get a carry again. If he's on my football team, I would never hand him the ball outside of, I would never, I don't care. Sign anyone else. Just, you're done. This is crazy. What was 7 fumbles last year and 3 in the last 2 games, 3+. He had 1 in the week early in the season too. No, I think it was just these 3, right?
What was wild is that early in his career, he never fumbled. That was like his calling card. He was like, he had been in the league for a long time, I think, before he had any fumbles and like a lot of touches. And it was like, all right, he takes care of the football. Belichick's loves that stuff. And now we're down pretty bad. So
the defense looks better though. I think Christian Gonzalez changed a lot for that. I think
Christian Gonzalez is a hugely underrated piece. Yeah, he was awesome.
Like, I don't think that, like, I think it started like the first few weeks, like the Patriots were like kind of a target. They were not playing well. They were getting rinsed. Their run defense was good, but their pass defense was really bad. Now I think you add Gonzalez in there, shift some pieces around, and they've played pretty well the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, they made some personnel changes. Again, they basically have essentially 2 rookies. I mean, Jalen Hawkins isn't a rookie, but very inexperienced in this secondary. Woodson, who they drafted in like the 3rd or 4th rounds, starting, been awesome at safety. Getting Gonzalez back up front, they've been fantastic. Landry's been great. Milton Williams has been great. Christian Barmore is back and healthy. He's been awesome. So they've been really, really strong defensively. So I think the Gonzalez thing is going to make them a little bit different than what we thought early in the season. So, and look, I wanted to come on today and bang the table for plus 180, plus 200 Pats to make the playoffs. They're minus 200 to make the playoffs.
Their schedule is so easy.
The schedule is insane. It's, just the next little run by itself. I've highlighted it a little bit, but just over the next handful of weeks, on the road, they got 3 straight on the road. Last night at New Orleans, at Tennessee. Okay, if you're gonna have back-to-back road games here, it's gonna be the Saints, and then on the road for Vrabel revenge game in Tennessee, a legit revenge game, right? We just saw Steph Diggs revenge game. Vrabel's gonna want to like turn the screws on that ownership group. Then they go home for Cleveland and Atlanta. Atlanta's feisty, but I feel like Atlanta's feisty at home. They go at Tampa Bay, tough game. But then it's the Jets, Bengals, Giants for the bye. I mean, they're going to be favored in 6 of those 7 or 7 of those 8 games. The only place they're going to be a dog is going to be at Tampa Bay. And they can go to Tampa Bay and win, but they're going to be a dog at Tampa Bay who's going to probably be more healthy at that point and probably comfortably 3.5 point favorites. But I mean, to come out of this 7-game stretch, 8-game stretch, and not be at least 6-2 would feel somewhat of a disappointment. And think about the Pittsburgh game. They should have not played with their food there. That one's going to matter because Pittsburgh's going to have a real chance to make the playoffs.
And they lost to the Raiders like pretty bad week 1. A Raiders team that I think we think it's pretty bad at this point. So maybe it just took a while for the Patriots to get their footing. Maybe this is I don't know. Like, I don't want to say this was like a flash in the pan. They beat the Panthers dominantly, like just a dominant win against the Panthers. You go to Buffalo and win like that. I think that's pretty much a statement there as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to buy them here. I don't know. Is there anything actionable at this point, you think, or not really? I mean, minus 200 stuff. I'm not really interested in that.
No, I mean, and no one should be. It's not a fair price. I mean, the only thing that, like, part of the Patriots handicap is the schedule. Well, guess who also has a like insanely easy schedule? The Bills. So like, Pats to win the division is not a real viable bet. The Bills are going to be a wagon and they're going to win that division. So yeah, there's really no piece here on pro Pat stuff. I guess Pats to reach the divisional round. So you're telling me that they make the playoffs and win a playoff game? I would never bet this price or this market, really. It's plus 240. It's the only thing with a plus. Like, I don't even know who that game's against, right? Like, there's definitely going to be better ways for us to make that return on the same thought process than to lay 240 for 3 months.
Yeah, because you always run the risk of like running into some like red hot wild card team or something like that.
It could be Baltimore.
Like, yeah, right. Like, exactly. Like, yeah. Like you run into one of those teams where it's like, oh, Lamar's back, everyone's healthy, and yeah, they're actually the best team, but they're the 7th seed because they just started the year off 1-6, you know?
Yeah, no shot at all. All right, anything jump out to you for, you touched on obviously all the teams here. We have a Monday Night Football game. We'll take a look at some sharp stack here, but any early bets that jump out to you here for week 6?
Yeah, I think Browns could be interesting against the Steelers a little bit here. Broncos -7 on the road against the Jets, I think is great. Just continue fading the Jets. I don't like, it's 7's a good number there. Broncos are a way better team. Like, they're going to give Justin Fields hell. I mean, it's going to be a brutal one for him. Colts against the Cardinals, I think that's one of my favorites. 6.5 should probably be, I think flat 7 would make a lot of sense in my mind. Pats against the Saints, 3.5. I mean, is that too much? Not enough?
I like it, but I mean, I'm trying to tone it down here, Connor. So, but I mean, I feel like they're better than that.
Cowboys -3 against the Panthers, I think could be interesting. I don't know. That's like, maybe Bryce plays well against the Cowboys. I don't know. It could be like, it just feels like a weird, like, I don't know. Maybe you could play well against a team that's just sitting back and hanging out.
Yeah, I wish that total was lower because I think it would be a great overspot in the market. Obviously, he's agrees with us, and I think that's jumped out a little bit too because it was not. I don't think it was that high. Let me see where we were. Yeah, it's 46.5, which would have been a fantastic number in the markets. The markets.
The Packers are 15-point favorites against the Bengals. That's hilarious.
That's rough.
And I don't necessarily disagree with it. But yeah, I'd just say those are probably my favorites so far. Anything stand out to you?
No, I like some of those too. I think it's a good bounce back spot for Buffalo on Monday night. Again, they Falcons coming off of a bye, but I think the Falcons are so weird. I don't know really what to make up from down from that team, but I think it's a good spot for them. I think the Titans are bad. The Titans Raiders game is so gross. Like, I don't want to back the Raiders, more than 3. That game is.
I mean, Titans can win that game. All right, that's the Raiders are kind of like, I don't know if lame duck's the right word, but they feel like they're in that territory, and the Titans are coming off a big win, so it's either a letdown spot for them, and they also look like shit, or they come out and maybe it's like, this is the turning point of their season, and they end up winning another game. Who knows? Like, under 41 seems kind of interesting, even though both defenses are not very good. I don't have much confidence in either offense either.
Yeah, I want to see the Seattle injury report. I like Seattle on the road against Jacksonville here, especially if they're going to get a half point or something. I just take money line, to be honest. But yeah. I want to know that Spoon and Love are back, and then I'll take Jacksonville. I'll take Seattle against Jacksonville in a short week. That'd be one I like. Yeah, the Browns. I don't know what to make of that. The travel, because it feels like a spot where looking at the look ahead side reference that just seemed like could be a good spot for Cleveland just on paper. But then you think, the Browns Browns travel from Europe back to the Steelers on the road, coming off of a bye. Like, it seems like a situational nightmare. But again, the market's kind of responded there too. It has backed Cleveland, which was 6.5. Now we're down to 4.5 and 5 out there too. So But I'm with you. Also on Denver. Denver minus 13.5. They match up so well, right? You take Surtain, put him on Garrett Wilson, and then just figure the rest of it out. Blitz your face off and make him do something, and
bring the house. Literally, I mean, and they should have success against that defense too. I mean, you can donate Sutton to Sauce if you really want to. It's just fine, which I would guess will probably happen, right? Or no?
I thought they were going to do that against Philly, and then they threw him 10 times against Quentin Mitchell, and caught 9 to 10 balls. Like Sutton just might be a dude. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. So it's like they're going to move the ball. They probably score 20, 24. Jets, I don't even know if they score 13. So, that's tough.
I mean, the late window is tough, man. We got 3 games in the late window: Tennessee Raiders, Bengals, Packers, 15-point favorites. Then we hopefully get a game out of the Niners Bucks. Look, they want that to be the marquee game of the week. They're going to get it. They better give us a game, because otherwise it's going to be a long 3.5 hours with crap football to get us ready for, Lions Chiefs. Lions Chiefs is another one that's really fascinating. I want to see how the Chiefs look tonight. Would love Xavier Worthy to be 100%. I feel like if the Chiefs are back a little bit, Lions secondary is really kind of taking it on the chin here. If we are going to see a Chiefs team that can really dial it up a little bit down the field, this could be a spot for the Chiefs to play pretty well. I would typically think I would like the Lions getting points here, but I don't know. I feel like these injuries on the Detroit secondary are a problem.
Yeah, I think the Lions would be the move here, but it's like this Chiefs team, like if Worthy's healthy, fully healthy, like they played so well last week, and I don't want to fully discount that. Like, there could be another spot here if Worthy's fully healthy that they crush. But I think the Lions are just more well-rounded at this point. So
for sure,
it's kind of a weird stay away, maybe just like a enjoy the game kind of, like sit back and not have a bunch of bets on it. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Got anything else for the people? Any of the futures, any awards, anything you want to touch on? Try to tie some of those in here while we're going, but if you have any other specific takeaways?
No, I think we hit on everything. I don't know. I had some Monday Night Football sharp stack stuff real quick.
Yeah, pop it up. Yep.
Yeah, we got a couple of bets here that I think are interesting. It's from our Plus EV tool. Travis Etienne from Monday Night Football, 65.5 minus 112 on DraftKings. Seeing some pretty heavy juice here on Pinnacle and other books. I mean, down way lower on other spots too. I think someone might have played the over, and that's kind of when I got like steamed up to 65. And I mean, usually this means the slower books are just like where it used to be. Yep. So that's interesting. Some Travis Hunter stuff. Like, I don't know. He's been basically barely used on offense. Well, it's like 60%, something like that. And the whole passing game has been terrible, but sharper books have him close to like 29. So again, a couple yards extra there that I think is decent. And then Tyquan Thornton stuff. I'm hesitant to play anything. Like, I'm waiting for some pregame reports on Xavier Worthy, because he went from like a full 80%, 90% guy like the last couple weeks. Then Worthy came back. He ran like 36% of the routes last week. So yeah, I would guess the under is probably the right side right now. But if Worthy's like limited, then Tyquan Thornton's going to play like 50, 60% of the snaps and probably be pretty heavily involved. So for me, that's kind of a stay away right here. And then Parker Washington one I think is interesting too, because De'Ami Brown is back. So when De'Ami Brown was in, he was playing like 35% of the snaps. So I think that one's kind of interesting too. But yeah, rip through those. And other than that, odd screen, prop screen, ARB tool, pick'em tool. We got a middles tool coming in, like, I think this week. So
baby.
Yeah, it'll be pretty slick. It's like, instead of like, it'll be like, it's kind of looks like the arbitrage tool, but instead of ARBs, it'll be like finding the biggest middle, like yardage wise or stuff there. So it's pretty cool.
Cannot wait. That's awesome. Yeah, I like going through the odd screen and look through middles. I did a little bit of that yesterday in the morning with my time, and I just try to look for some middles to pop through there to show some people, because you can just look at the best odds and then kind of comb through it. Different, obviously, for games, but you look at the prop screen, you can kind of go through. A little hard now because we don't have so just sometimes, I mean, even when you have tighter bands or lower numbers, it's just a little bit easier to find some decent EV.
There was like, when Sean was making it for the college football one, there was like some that were like 10 to 15 yard middles. Like, there was like, I mean, massive. I was like, this is huge. Like, it would be like 55 on one book and like 60 something on the other. I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. So I'm excited for that. So free 7-day trial. Remember, take advantage. 4for4.com/plans. MTL50 for 50% off your first month. Check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. We'd love to get your feedback at the end of the 7-day trial or while you're, using it. Obviously we want to continue, like Connor said, we're adding stuff now. So like, it's not like a done product. If we find some ways to make it better or make some additions, we're obviously very much open to that too. So we'd love to get your feedback. Check that out. So, all right, come back on Friday. Move the Line prop drop show, 3 p.m. Eastern. Move the Line wherever you listen to podcasts. 4for4 live on the YouTube channel. We're going to hit that Millie parlay this week. I feel good about it, Connor. So, all right. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. Again, feedback on the new format on a Monday. We'd appreciate it too. I thought that was pretty crisp and felt like it was good. So let us know if I'm wrong. For Connor, I'm Ryan. We'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.